Hi, I'm Mallory Fries, and I'm a sophomore BFA acting student here at UNC Greensboro. This semester, I am taking a course in college writing, where one of our main focuses is a Rhetoric of Activism speaker series. This week, I will be speaking and analyzing upon Malik Davis, an activist that was a part of the Black Lives Matter protest that happened earlier this year. Malik Davis joined in the protests Black Lives Matter movement in June of 2020. And one night, he decided to protest on the monument of Nathaniel Greene. He sat on top of the monument for a good couple hours until police arrested him. And during this time that he was on the monument, he was smoking marijuana and interacting with the crowds and continuing to protest with them in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. When police arrested him, he was charged $500, had a $500 bail. And this is particularly important because two other people were arrested that night and their bails were set much lower than his. And they were of different ethnicity. Malik Davis was the only African American who was arrested that night, and his bail was the highest of them all. Now, to look into the different rhetorical triangle and appeals here, looking at his logos, the message that he set was incredibly powerful. To be sitting on a statue in the middle of downtown Greensboro, smoking marijuana. Like I said, he was protesting the Black Lives Matter movement, but he was also protesting the curfew that had just been set across the nation in order to suppress the voices that were speaking out against such an important issue as systemic racism. Additionally, in the discussion that we had as a group, Davis said that his focus is consciousness and institutionalized racism, which is very clear in the text and message that he sent out that evening. And before getting on the monument, he thought about how there are things that we see directly in front of us all the time and we do nothing about. We don't talk about them. We don't act upon them. We don't strive to change. And change is a very scary thing for a lot of us. And that's clear within his text, within his logos, within his activism itself. That's very clear. And looking at the video evidence of him at a part of the protests, a part of that night, it helps not only the logos, but his pathos, because you can see that he is very sympathetic to the cause, and that when he is arrested, he gets off the monument with hands up. He's trying not to hurt the police and cause them to put themselves in any sort of danger. During our discussion, he even said that. He said that, when they went to arrest him, that he was willing to get off the statue so that they didn't have to climb up and risk endangering themselves. And you can see that as part of the video. And there's different accounts depending upon what news source and what article you're reading. There's different accounts of how people interpreted that or misinterpreted that. But if you watch the videos, it is very clear that he in no way is causing a struggle or causing any sort of scene. Which helps his pathos and therefore helps his logos as well, and ethos, just as an ethical person who's not wanting to hurt others or cause problems. Additionally, to help his pathos, it makes the audience of our class or course sympathetic, because he's also a student. He graduated from ECU and he is a student here in Greensboro right now. At the time that he was protesting, he was a driver for Uber Eats. And I know multiple people that are students here that are delivery or a part of the delivery service, whether that be Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grubhub. And so it makes us feel more sympathetic, and it helps us see ourselves in those shoes, because this is something that could happen to any one of us. And so not only does that help his pathos, but in turn helps his ethos, because it shows that he is a person. He is human. He's humanized just like all of us. Additionally, to help his ethos, like I said, he got off this monument arms up. He was compliant, and this makes his views on anti-violence, anti-Trump, anti-social media that much more grounded, that much more trustworthy, because we see his views and his activism and what that says, what his logos and what his choice to sit on that monument meant for him. And so it's very clear it makes it very clear to the audience that, okay, we can trust him on other issues, because the opinions that he holds, the activism that he's shown us on this issue of Black Lives Matter and institutionalized racism and etc. it's correct. It is it's truthful. It's personable. Even though in the interview there were moments where he seemed distracted, it was very much personable the whole time. He spoke from his heart, and it was completely connected and grounded. Overall, it was a very great discussion, and it brought up a lot of topics that definitely need to be heard and definitely are still issues across this nation altogether.